Hello everyone, so today I am back with another first impression Friday video. I know I did like bulk these all at once and I really should have sort of gradually done them, but I have now purchased a new foundation and I wanted to do a first impression video on it. Now I got this yesterday, so I woke up this morning and I was like, I really want to try it out today. So I've had my shower, I've done my skincare up to my moisturiser. And so now I'm going to apply my foundation and we'll do my first impression on it. But today the first impression Friday is on the Fusion Ink foundation by YSL. Mine is in the shade Beige Rose, which is BR20. Basically it comes in a little box like this. You get a little information leaflet thing with it, and you get your foundation, which looks like this, and it's really pretty. It's glass, so it's nice and heavyweight, so I really like the packaging for it. It tells you on the bottom that it's BR20, but it doesn't say Beige Rose 20. So if you know YSL foundation names, you've got like beige, you've got beige rose, there's a variety, but obviously they only put the initials, so this one is BR20. This isn't the palest shade, which I was a little bit surprised about. And basically all you do is you take off this lid, this gold lid, which is really nice, and then you untwist this bit, which is like a little spatula. Now the formula of this foundation is very liquidy, I've read, and I've been looking into this for a while because it's supposed to be really good for people with oily skin. So I picked it up yesterday and I wanted to tell you about my first impressions and use it on camera for you so you can see for yourself how it wears, how it applies, you know, how it looks on the skin. So like I've been doing recently when I've done foundation first impressions, I've primed half of my face and then applied my foundation all over so we can see what it's like with primer and without. So the primer I am going to be using today for this review is my L'Oreal Skin Perfection, I think it's called. Yeah, L'Oreal Skin Perfection Primer. It's called a Magic Touch Instant Blur, but I'm going to be using it as a primer today. So I'm going in with my L'Oreal Skin Perfection. I'm just going to apply this on half of my face. So I'm going to apply it on this half of my face. So it's very sort of silicone-y by the feels of it. And it's just supposed to like blur your imperfections, this one is. And half my nose, and just that, just this half of my face. Okay, so for this foundation today I'm actually going to use my beauty blender with it, so I'm just going to unscrew it, and with this spatula which has got product on, I'm just going to apply it to the back of my hand, just like so. And apparently like a little of this does go a long way. So I'm going in with my beauty blender. I'm just going to apply this all over my face. So what I applied to my hand from that spatula just covered one side of my face in a very sort of light covering. So you can see like my blemishes don't look as red because my skin's sort of acting out at the moment. And these blemishes do look a lot red than what these ones do. It applied nice and smooth over the primer as well, so that's a plus as well. So I'm just going to apply and get some more of that foundation on the back of my hand. Excuse my eyebrows at the moment, they do need plucking. I don't know if I really want to like touch the spatula on my face and apply the product, but I don't know if I'm sort of wasting product by doing this method. So obviously this is just my first impression, so as I use it I can do a review on the product if you wish. But it's applying nicely on both sides of my face, because this one is the unprimed one and then this one is the primed side. Going to put a little bit more over my blemishes. And so it's applied like a really nice sort of coverage on just a thin layer, if that makes sense. So like it has dulled down my blemishes a lot with just a thin coat. So I'm just going to put some concealer on my blemishes, which are still sort of peeking through. And it feels nice. It feels nice and smooth. It feels just sort of like natural skin. It might feel like it's not particularly set yet, so I will leave it for just a little while to kind of set. I'm just going to apply a bit of concealer here because I have got some like dry patches. A touch too light for me, but I don't know, without fake tan it probably blends in quite well when I've got like my bronzer and stuff on. So at the moment it looks a little bit pale, but I think with like all the other products it will sort of even it out. So I'm just going to apply another layer just to sort of build up the coverage a bit. So I need it more like on my cheeks because I've got quite a bit of discoloration. And I'm doing this because I don't want to use a powder today, because this foundation is supposed to set to like a powder finish and you're not supposed to like use powder with it. So I thought, especially if I'm doing like a first impression review, I will use it and not use a powder and we'll see how it wears, because obviously my skin is very oily. And this is sort of promoted towards oily skin, so we shall see. So with that second coat it's still nice and light, it doesn't look really cakey anywhere. It may be clinging to, like, I've got dry areas here at the moment and on my nose, and it's kind of clinging to the dry skin, but I know like when I use like setting sprays and throughout the day that won't look dry at all. But yeah, it's a really nice coverage. It's covered, my blemishes are still kind of peeking through a little bit, so I might apply like a touch more concealer to them. But for the second coat it doesn't look cakey at all, it looks really nice and natural, just like your skin. But yeah, so like I said, this foundation is supposed to be used with no powder, so I am not going to powder my face for the rest of the day. And this is quite a scary thought for me because I rely on powder to keep me matte throughout the day because my oil production is just crazy. So throughout the day I'm not going to powder my face. I'm going to powder probably underneath my eyes for my highlighter, but everywhere else I'm not going to powder at all. So we will see how it looks. So what I'm going to do, my first impression is that obviously the packaging is wonderful, it's amazing. The glass packaging, you know, the gold, the detail is just so nice on these bottles, and all YSL products really have beautiful packaging. Coverage is light but also buildable. Obviously I've got really red blemishes, so they have shown through, but if, you know, there was just like the odd mark, like discoloration sort of on my cheeks I get like here, it's covered that perfectly. But it's buildable coverage and it is lovely. It feels just like your skin. It feels so natural. Kind of feels like it's mid-setting at the moment. Like it's still got a bit of wetness to it. It's hard to describe. But yeah, so I'm going to apply the rest of my face off camera, and then I will come back in a couple of hours and I will tell you how I feel about the product and also show you how it is worn in those couple of hours. So I will see you very soon. Hello everyone, so I'm now back to give you an update of my L'Oreal Fusion Ink foundation. YSL, not L'Oreal, I don't know where that came from. So, from first looks, oh, I forgot to say when I left it was 10:30. And so now it is 2:20, so let's say 2:30. So it's been on a good few hours. What's that, 4 hours-ish? Just under 4 hours. So it is looking a bit oily. Now, I don't know if like the sheen is picking up on the camera. Here, and on my forehead and down my nose is highlighter. But if I just pat it, like with my fingers, it does look a little bit oily. Now, I think, although it is oily, I think this is fairly good. I've worn it 4 hours, so I would normally be oily by now, and that would be through powder as well as foundation. So I have noticed that some areas have been slipping around. I found that this lipstick will get caught in my hair and then the hair will like transfer around and stuff. So all I'm going to do is actually blot my skin, and look how it sort of holds up. Now, like I said earlier, it's not really going to make my dryness stand out, and it hasn't, it just sort of blends it in. I'm just going to blot this side as well. This side didn't look as oily, but it still had a little bit of an oily sort of sheen to it. Sorry about that. I'm also just going to blot sort of just all over my skin. And then what I'm going to do is apply a powder. And I know normally I'm like, right, I'm not going to powder or anything throughout the day. But because I have already applied a powder, because I haven't already applied a powder, I'm going to do it now just to see if that sort of makes the results any better. So I'm just going in with my Lasting Perfection by Collection. I'm just patting because obviously I have got other makeup on. I just do gentle pats, and I'm hardly getting any product on my face whatsoever. And that has just set the foundation. So now I'm going to see how it wears for like the next couple of hours or however long. I have got a makeup job to do at some point this evening, so I don't know if I'll be back before or after then. Hopefully before, because I'll be getting back quite late, so I may see you before 7 o'clock. But so far I'm quite happy with it. It sort of looks oily, how it would like just like a sheen, just how it would normally if I just applied like powder over my foundation normally. So just see if this powder does help the I don't know what the word for it is, longevity or something like that. Just see how it wears, and if it wears any longer than it did without powder. So I will be back again in a few hours. Obviously my thoughts are that although it got oily, it was still fairly good, because I was sort of expecting it to get oily. People with oily skin tend to just expect to have to blot throughout the day and have to apply powder and stuff. So yeah, so I've applied that powder to my skin. I'll leave it a couple of hours and then I'll come back and show you the finishing results and tell you how I enjoyed this product. Hello everyone, so I'm hoping like that this lighting is okay and not too crazy, but I'm basically back with another update of my YSL foundation for you. I don't know if you can see, but my nose is getting a little bit oily again, so I powdered my foundation and it's just got a little bit more oily. So sorry. So I'm just gonna blot my skin again. And it's been another 3 hours since when I was here again. So again, for not for oily skin even, that is fairly good going, especially for my skin, because my skin is pretty much oily non-stop. I know that this powder doesn't have the best sort of hold on my makeup for making it last a long time anyway. But yeah, so overall, it's not like an amazing product that you have to have, especially if you're oily skin. So far, just applying it with the Beauty Blender and with all the other products that I've used on my face today, it has just been a little bit oily. So it could just be, you know, my moisturiser. I have changed my moisturiser, so it could just be my moisturiser. You know, it could be the powder, it could be anything like that. But I'm quite happy with the product. It makes my skin feel sort of very natural. And yeah, so it has been, yeah, another 3 hours. So it's been about 7 hours. So I thought I would update you now before I go out and do all of my Halloween makeup jobs today. But yeah, so everything seems to have stayed in place, like my blush, my bronzer seems to be in place, my highlighter, you know, everything like that. My eye products have creased a little bit, but that's because I didn't apply a primer underneath my eyeshadow today. But yeah, so everything seems to have stayed in place. My concealer may have worn away from this blemish here, but everywhere else it looks really good. For 7 hours where I barely ever wear my makeup for more than 5 hours probably. No, a little bit, probably about 7 hours, probably about the max amount of time that I will wear makeup. And it's held up really well. Yes, it has got oil in certain areas, but with my skin I do expect to blot throughout the day, so I'm not too worried about that. The colour was a little bit pale, but I warmed it up with my bronzer and it seemed fine. And yeah, apart from that, I am really happy with this product. So I did enjoy this product. I obviously applied mine with a Beauty Blender. I'll try it with different brushes through like the next few days or whatever, and I can report back to you if you wish. But this is my first impression on the Fusion Ink foundation, and mine was in the shade BR20, and I really enjoy it. So I think if you know, if you like sort of foundations that are very natural on your skin, you know, it doesn't feel like too matte, then this is like an awesome foundation. It was really lightweight, but it had a lot of coverage to the product itself. But yeah, so from the prime side to the non-prime side, maybe a little bit different, maybe not so much. But yeah, so everything seems to have stayed in place, and I am happy with this foundation. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please let me know if there's any products you would like me to review next, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Bye. Hey everyone, so I just wanted to pop onto camera and give you just a little update of my YSL Fusion Ink foundation. I have done a first impression video, which is what this is probably going to fit into. But basically I said at the time that my shade was BR20. Now I've had to change my shade to BD20 because the BR20 was just very, very pink, and it didn't look very natural. It didn't look like my skin. This BD20 is a lot better tone to match with me. So I was incorrectly matched, but I went to a different store and got rematched, and this has worked so much better. So it's called Beige Door, which is golden beige. So it sounds like it's more yellowy toned, but they always say, like, if you're pink toned, then, you know, yellowy toned stuff neutralizes it. So I don't know if that's the way. But yeah, I have been using this pretty much every day, especially every day that I've been wearing makeup, obviously. And I much prefer this colour. I think I forgot to mention in my first impression that you need to shake it really well to, like, activate it. And you can hear, like, the liquid. That's how watery it is. But you need to shake it really well, and I think I forgot to mention it. I had already, because I was getting excited, before I pressed play I'd already shaken it up, so I think I forgot to mention it. I haven't used it with a Beauty Blender again because I found that the Beauty Blender seemed to suck up a lot of product. So because this is a foundation for me, I use a spatula and I just dot it on, and I probably shouldn't do that because of bacteria and stuff, but I just dot the foundation over my face, and then I blend it in with my Sigma F80 flat kabuki brush. So soft, this brush. But it's really good for blending in this foundation. It blends so much better than like the beauty blend, because it's not sucking up as much product, and it blends so much nicer than, you know, like your traditional foundation brush, although I don't use this one for foundation. But yeah, it's such a nice brush, and it's so good to apply this foundation. I am still really enjoying it. I've been loving it with my Laura Mercier foundation primer oil free. I kind of think it lasts a bit longer with this primer than the other one. But yeah, so I have been really enjoying it. I just thought I would pop on back onto camera before I edit the video, just to add that I've changed the shade, and just to really say that it does really help to get colour matched by the professionals. I don't think the person was... the place where we go, we have department stores which has like a lot of brands all in one. So we have a place called Gerald's, and it's got like Estee Lauder, it's got YSL, it's got Clarins, it's got all these little stalls and stands inside this building. And I don't think she was a YSL counter person that matched me at the time. So she wasn't clued up on the products and stuff like that. So I went back to a different counter, and I found that this was my correct shade. So it is BD20, not BR20. And yeah, I have been loving it ever since. The colour is so much better. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but my face is so much closer matching to my neck now than it was previously. It was just a really weird pinky-esque shade. It made you look really fake, but not in a good way. But yeah, so I just thought I'd update you on that. It is amazing with a brush rather than a beauty blender, like I said, because I think because this is like such a watery product, the sponge just sucks it up. I think that might be one of the reasons, rather than just placing it on your skin. But yes, so I hope you have a fantastic day and weekend. This is going to be on a Friday, so have a fab weekend, and I will talk to you all very soon.
There I'll sit, I'll admit that I was only just a guest inside my skin.